I am here for a behind-the-scenes adventure in San Francisco with Rick Remender and the cast and crew of Deadly Class. So let's take a closer look at what gives King's Dominion that radical retro sensibility. Rick, when you look at a comic like Deadly Class, there's so many themes of counterculture and rebellion. This ties so perfectly into the punk scene. Do you think that that informed the way you wrote your story?
There's an old cliche, punk rock changed my life. It's an ideology and a group of people and kids saying things that in the 80s especially I didn't hear anywhere else. I don't think that I would be a writer were it not for those ideas, were it not for that inspiration.
Today, we riot.
Next up, I'm going to set to see how this all comes to life. So here we are at the set of Deadly Class, and we are actually in the hallway at King's Dominion where all of the gangs clash. I'm here with Maria DeFaria and Liam James, who of course play Billy and Maria on Deadly Class. So you guys are kind of fulfilling my personal dream, which is being in a comic book adaptation. It is incredible. What has it been like to see these sets that are basically taken straight out of the comic?
For me, I really like this one. I really like the hallway. You have no idea how many crazy things have happened here.
Well, for me, it's the rooftop. This is the graveyard. There's just such a sense of freedom, you know, everything's all tagged up in graffiti. There's a skate ramp, and there's plenty of stuff to hang off because Billy's always moving and unable to stop.
This is probably one of the coolest sets I've ever seen. Let's talk about some of the details that go into creating a set like this.
You know, it's a space for all the students to hang out away from the eyes of the teachers and staff at King's Dominion. So we wanted to sort of represent that in the graffiti, that every group has a space here.
Punk is so much more than just an aesthetic and a look. It's an entire attitude. How does that come across in the design?
You know, punk was a counterculture, and we recently did a sort of punk show scene. Punk clubs in San Francisco in the 80s were as basic and as grimy and down and gritty as you get. It's the flat black walls and just a basic space. So we really tried to actually tone down the club that we went into and just left the bones of it and just let the dancing and the music speak for the scene.
As long as the floors are sticky.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly.
We play songs like before we start a scene or during a scene. We will like play music on the speakers, and it like totally influences and like brings up all those emotions.
Can you show us a little bit of the moves of the punk rock?
Oh yeah, you want a little something?
Yeah, that's how it's done.
You want to start just...
So San Francisco now is obviously very, very different. It's very shiny now.
We add elements like graffiti or just a little bit of garbage on the streets and just kind of create that feel of a grittier city of that time.
The subsects of counterculture in the 80s were so distinct and different and vibrant and had their own wardrobe and had their own vocabulary and had their own music, and obviously all of these things combined to make a scene.
We're on the same side. Rap, punk.
We can explore mid-80s goth culture, mid-80s skate punk, mid-80s oi punk. We can go and delve in and take a look around at the hip-hop scene. Bounce.
And miss the disco?
Once you dive into the 80s, there's really no coming back out. There's so many wonderful genres. The punk rock scene is a great one.
West Coast punk. Yeah, stole it from us and ruined it.
Punk rock is all about attitude. Sort of in your face, you know? It was like aggression and just wild and against the rules. So there's a lot of like torn up stuff, a lot of vintage. And then of course there's the neon, a lot of tracksuits and nylon and acid wash and just like kind of the worst of the 80s.
We gonna give you that makeover.
It was tremendous fun to dive in.
You so desperately need.
You guys go to town, show me some of the stuff that you guys wear, some of your favorites.
This is one of my favorites.
Oh, gorgeous.
For you.
This is one of my favorites. Do you remember this scene in the
Yes.
rooftop? Yeah, special and crazy moment for her. You know, she doesn't hold back.
You both have such bold styles on the show, such fun, like so speaks to the character. Have you ever rocked a mohawk before?
Never.
You really pull it off. I suggest
Oh,
keeping it.
thank you.
And also the green.
I wish that sci-fi would let me get a mohawk. Well, Now, if I was a teen in the 80s, I would have totally been part of the punk clique in school. I would have even had the big hair. Make sure you check out my whole behind-the-scenes adventure in San Francisco on sci-fiwire.com. And don't miss Deadly Class on Sci-Fi. Brought to you by the all-new RAV4. Toyota. Let's go places.